Salute to Rhuminus, I am Rhuminus. I'm doing a channel update and to let you know that the October Spooky Games is over. And here we are, things are bright and lively and wonderful, except the fact that life still sucks. However, we'll still play video games and deal with that. I just want to let you know that I'll still play horror games every once in a while, but I'm not going to make them the focus. The other thing I mentioned in the Alien Isolation one, and if you haven't noticed, there might be like 7 or 8 days that are missing from the October Spooky Games. There's not actually 31 games, is because I burned myself out. The reason I wanted to tell this is because it also relates to other parts. So the story I'm going to tell is about when I was younger, probably, I think it was 18 to 21. I worked 2 jobs. 2 jobs, 7 days a week, 70 hours is pretty much the average. So I was working somewhere between 65 to like 75, somewhere in there. I worked so much that I could not sleep. And to put it simply, if you want to do the math, so there's 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. So that's 168 hours. 168 hours a week. 70 of those. So half of the week is spent working. And if you remember, you're supposed to have 8 hours of sleep. That didn't happen. You're supposed to eat and sleep. That didn't happen. Let's also calculate the fact that my lunches were unpaid. So that's another half hour. Let's also calculate there's about a half hour break in between the jobs. And I had 8-hour shifts. So at 8.5 plus another 30. So that's 16, 17, 17 and a half plus the time to get home. So let's just make it 18. That's 18 hours in a day. That's 6 hours left to eat, sleep, drink, relax, do all these things. And then when I was 20, I went back to school for college. I went full time as well. So to put it simply, I would get up at 5 a.m., 4:30, go to work at 5, get done at about 11 when I was going to school. Go to school and I would be there from about like 12:30 until about 7 p.m. because I loaded up all my classes at one time, and then I would come back around 9 p.m., do any homework or anything I had to do, wake up back at 4:30, and then on the days where I didn't have school because I had alternated, I then worked from 4:30 at one job all the way, so I worked at 5 to 1:30 and then 2 to 11 p.m. And I did that every day for about 4 years. I don't remember those years. I remember being cranky, I remember being tired, I remember being hungry, I remember being cold. I remember not having a good time, and I did that particularly so that I would have a house. So that I would save up all this money, so that I would basically struggle in the early part of my life to not do it in the later part. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because when I set myself up for the October games, things that I love to do. I love horror games, and I did all this because that's what I wanted to do, and I also wanted to have a big catalog in my YouTube channel because I haven't done a lot of YouTube videos in a while. The problem is that I was back in that moment. So I'm still working 2 jobs, although not as much, but my regular job is 8 to 5, and I go in, so I have to drive there, and then I work for a vendor company where I have to go into grocery stores, and I have to drive there, and I usually do that for about 15 hours a week. So I work 45 hours because I work 9 days a week, 9 hours a day, try it again, 9 hours a day, but the problem is I don't get paid for that hour, so that's my lunch hour. So that's 45 hours plus the 15, I'm already back at 60, not including the drive times. Let's just say that's 65. That's actually, I would say it's low because the grocery stores I have to go to are pretty far apart. So 65 hours a week, and then each of these videos, I would separate 2 hours, like 2 to 3 hours to play it, and then about 2 to 3 hours to edit it, which is another 6 hours, and that's every day, not including the other videos that I had to do. You could already see that I'm working 16, 18, 19 hours a day. I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping, I'm cranky, I'm tired, and that's exactly what happened is that in the first week, I had gotten sick. So I had gotten sick, and I had 2 videos already made. I had made the first like 2 Resident Evil videos ahead of time in like September. I did that because I wanted to have a buffer. I wanted to, not get behind, so that's what I did, but I got sick real bad for like 3 days, and I was just behind the entire time. Ever since like October 5th, I've been uploading videos at like 11:59, 12:04. I was constantly late. I was doing double uploads of scary games. I was doing like 2 videos a day to kind of catch up, but I just couldn't. And then there was a death in the family. I had missed a couple days because of that, and I couldn't do it. I burned myself out, and it got to the point where last week I looked at my catalog and realized I thought I caught up. I thought I was like, 26, 27 videos. So I counted my videos, and I saw that I had 21. I thought I had like 27. So I was way behind. I was a week behind, which means I had to do another 6 or 7 videos and it's October 27th. Like I don't have time for this. I legitimately don't. And I'm also just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm cranky. I have a bunch of house projects I have to get done. I got a bunch of things I want to do, and I have not sat down and rested for quite some time. And that's when I realized I need to stop. It, I'm a person because of my dad. My dad does not hold to his promises. He doesn't hold to his word, and I try to do everything to not be that because I don't want to be like him. Essentially, especially in that aspect. And so when I made the promise or the guarantee that I would make 31 videos, I had to go to my mental and physical health of saying like I'm eating one meal a day, and when I do it's takeout, which means it's not healthy for me, because I can't sit there and stop. I cannot stop for 2 hours to cook food. I just can't do it. I don't have time. And then the mental health of I have all these house projects. I have all the things I want to do. I need to sleep. I can't do any of these things, and I'm just getting frustrated and cranky and angry. And it's just I realized I had to, for my own mental well-being, stop. And I had to break that promise. And the reason I'm telling this whole story is one, to explain what happened, but also, if you are in that slump, if you're doing something that doesn't bring you joy and doesn't bring you happiness, and ultimately doesn't really lead to a goal that you want, I wanted to have these videos, but not at the cost of my sanity. I like making YouTube videos. I like the videos that I made. I got no problem with that. But at the cost of my sanity, the cost of my well-being, it wasn't worth it. Like, these videos are not incredibly top tier. They're just, they're there for scary games throughout the whole of October, and that's why they're there. They're not there for any other reason. And so I had to come up to the realization that it wasn't worth it. It's not worth basically selling my soul and breaking my back and killing myself over 5 videos that ultimately, are nice, but they're not necessary. And so I took a break. I slept. I got better. I'm still a little cranky because I don't get to do all the things I want to do, but that's part of life. You never do. So that's why it's all there. And if you're in that mode, if you're doing something that it's a hobby or it's a book club or it's a sport or whatever, and you realize that you're not happy, there are times where you got to push through things. Sometimes life ebbs and flows, and you got to go up and down, and that's what happens sometimes. But if it's over a long period of time and you realize how detrimental it is to you, it's okay to quit. The one thing that I never liked, especially as a teacher, is that quitters never win. No, quitters realize what is worth it. Quitters realize what is detrimental to them. It's not okay to quit something immediately and go, well, this is too hard. No, I don't like that. I don't like it where people work jobs where they don't make enough money or don't reach management. I don't like people that have relationships that just ultimately are not helping either person or only helping one person, which is a parasite. It's not good. So you have to come to this realization. So it's okay to quit things, is what I'm saying. It's okay to come to the realization and break promises as long as you have a good reason. If my reason was I hate everybody, no. Most of those videos, as I was making them, didn't get any views. To me, that's not a reason to quit something. It's not a reason. For me, I do these things because I want to, and it's a hobby, and I enjoy doing it. And maybe years down the line, maybe 20 people watch the video and have a good time, and that's all that matters to me. If one person watches it and have a good time, for me, that's what's important. But you need to come to the realization that it's okay to quit. It's okay to stop things, especially when it's not helping you. If it's only either helping one person or one party, or it's not helping anybody, not really achieving anything, it's okay to quit things. And it's okay to give up and say, this wasn't worth my time, energy, or money, and so I need to give it up. And there's the idea of the sunk cost fallacy, which is, I already spent 3 years in this relationship, I can't give it up. But then you're going to spend 10 years and still be unhappy. Wouldn't you rather spend 10 years and be at least content, even if you're by yourself and alone? Some people, no, which you should see a therapist because that's a problem. But again, I'm just going through this and saying, I realized I had to come to the realization that I was overworking myself. I was late on all of my projects. Every project that I wanted to do, which was the podcast I do with my friends, I do a game analysis video every week. I'm still behind. I need to make another. I'm a week behind on that. I completely just didn't. I didn't have time to make that because I was working on these scary video games. It's just you have to come to the realization that sometimes it's not worth it, and for your own well-being or for the well-being of people around you or the people that are affected, you have to do what's best for you, even if you're leaving a job and you're a manager and it's going to affect other people, but you have to worry about yourself first. Ultimately, you got to do what's best for you, and that's what this is for. To give a message of that, do what's best for you, even if you feel like you're letting people down. You won't be letting people down. If you're letting people down, because if you stop doing something and you let people down, and it's for your own benefit, for your mental health, for your physical health, for a new job or whatever, those people are not your friends. Those are people that you don't want to deal with, because at any rate, the people I'm a manager currently in my job. Someone quit because of, same thing. He's gotta drive constantly to go 50 miles to go see a doctor for his wife. He's got health problems. He's got kids, and he's going through school, and he's doing all these things, and he's giving all this long-winded explanation of why he has to quit. And I go, dude, you do what you got to do. I'm not that type of person. I very much well understand, having gone through it myself, how important it is to stop doing things that stop you from doing the things that you need to do. And so, if you're in that situation, yeah, he was very apologetic, and he was sad, and he was sorry because he felt bad, but you don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, because I understand and I know you're doing what's important, and sometimes that's all it takes. So I hope that this helps you in some manner if you're going through something similar to this. Weigh out your options, give up pros and cons, and realize what's important, what do you need to drop, what do you need to back down on. Maybe it's, instead of doing a video every day, you do a video every 3 days. Maybe that's what I should have done, and I feel like I should have. But overall, that's the situation, and sometimes it's okay to quit, give up, break promises, but make sure it's a logical, reasonable thing. And if anybody lambasts you, criticizes you, or in any way negatively insults you, basically, for doing what is better for you, even if it affects them, they're not someone who thinks about other people, and there's not someone whose opinion you should really take any sort of grain of those are someone whose opinion you really shouldn't even take to heart, because they're not going to take you to heart. They're not going to care about you, so you really shouldn't care about their opinions. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this message. Walete omnes.